Are we live? Let's see. Looks like we're live. Welcome back to the He's Wrong, She's Right podcast. This is Nona. I'm Andrew. And the click clacking that you might be hearing in this echoey room is Podcast Dog, who always inevitably wants to spend time with us when we're recording. New studio, new house, same dog. Hey, gather. Anyways, I hope she doesn't knock anything over. That's all I'm worried about, getting tangled in cords. So today, Nona, we've got some more topics. You had seen the news about the Menendez brothers. We've got Detective High from Buffalo PD exposing the Buffalo public schools. We've got pickleball. Really need to get her to lay down. There we go. Pickleball. I did get an update on Mike Glover. So people that watched the previous live stream do have an update for you now. We'll get to that in just a second. What else did I have?
You said you had a funny boat story.
Yeah, funny boat story. We'll start with that after I finish all the topics. NFA news. Some people will know what that's all about. And then some stuff about MisfitPatriot, Zach Bonfilio.
Sounds like a lot of information to cram in 1 hour. So you better get to it, buddy.
We can do it. So starting off, many of you have probably seen the news. North Korea was christening, or whatever you call it, when it's like first taken out of dry dock and like floats out into the water. They were holding a ceremony. Kim Jong-un, all of like their generals, everyone is there. And the keel of the boat broke on one of the deals that holds the boat up.
Brand new boat.
Brand new. First time it's ever been in the water.
Okay.
Broke off the keel, the boat capsized and sank.
Okay.
While he was there watching it happen.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to say he was on it.
Oh, that would be funny too. That'd be really funny.
It would only be funny to me if he was on it.
Do they? I feel like maybe that's a movie thing. Have you ever actually seen a video of somebody doing that with people? Like you see it on like cruise ships and stuff, right?
I've only seen it in movies. I haven't ever seen it like in real life.
I feel like they wouldn't let people on it just because when it slides in the water, it's like really violent. Like you would get thrown into a wall or something. Because I'm sure they don't have like stuff on there if it's not bolted to the floor or the wall.
I don't know. It would only be funny to me if he was on it. But anyways.
Yeah, anybody here in the Navy or do boat stuff, tell us. Because genuinely have no idea. But he's like threatening to execute people. He said it's criminal. Clearly it was sabotage. Like just.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So not only are their jobs at risk, their lives are too.
Yeah. Very, very real. Yeah.
Gotcha. Anyways. So you wanted to get to Mike Glover, big update.
So I reached out to Kay, who he was busy today as well. There was an update in the filing. Glover's attorneys requested a continuation, and it was approved. A future date at the time of filing has not been set.
That's not a big update.
She can't be in here when we're doing this. Willow, stop. She was so good earlier. I was going to be like that. Yeah, so it's being continued, but I have more to this. Like I said, there's no date set yet. I don't think it's going to get pushed too far. I mean, it can't.
What was supposed to occur today?
Today was supposed to be the hearing for whether or not it was going to go through to trial.
Gotcha.
So there's either potentially Mike's having surgery again. Remember how that's happened multiple times? And yeah.
Right. But this is the original case, correct?
This is the actual criminal case.
Right.
Yes.
So Okay, I'm not going to never mind. I'm not speculating. Okay. Anyways.
Fun times. Let me change this off the top chat to live chat just in case. There was a woman, and I'll put a pinned comment in here in a minute so you guys know how we do the chat stuff. We're only gonna like read, as in like read it off on the show. If it's a super chat, you can talk to us, ask us questions in there, and I'll skim it periodically and maybe add context to the conversation. But I'm not gonna read your whole thing unless it's an actual super chat. The woman who, I'm not gonna say her name because for one, I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Okay.
That I showed you. I went back. She responded. So this woman out of the blue
reached out to our social media
on May 5th, I believe and I hadn't seen it. We hadn't really been like checking it cursory, not really staying on top of it. So she had reached out May 5th, I believe, and said that she had all kinds of information about Mike.
That he had done to her, supposedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Looked at her profile. There's nothing really like identifiable in it. We did have, and not the woman that you're thinking of, not the older woman who was catfished, but we had another woman last year who was very upset about being scammed on Fieldcraft's classes.
I either don't have memory of this or have no knowledge of it. It might have been comments that you were reading and not sharing with me.
Maybe. Or wasn't it? I'd have to dig back and find that. But people have gone and deleted their comments since then. Like the one woman that was catfished after we told her.
She was clearly being catfished.
Yeah. Like this, you were very seriously being taken advantage of by somebody. And that's not because I'm looking out for Mike. It's there's a very, very clear, it's not how he talks. It's not what he posts. It's not his account. He would be going so far out of his way to date a 60-year-old.
Anyways, you're digressing. Yeah. Get back to this lady who reached out.
So now, after I asked her if she could elaborate.
And does she have anything to corroborate her stories?
She sent 4 messages.
Okay.
All of them.
About screenshots, pictures, anything that is.
No. Just please don't say my name. I have to make my proof. So it was like broken English. And she apologized for the poor typing and broken English, saying that she was using speech to text. But that just means that you speak in broken English.
Not necessarily.
It wasn't adding any punctuation.
If she has an iPhone, it doesn't add punctuation unless you tell it to.
I know. I'm saying that she was, even the words that she was saying, I had to go and like reread it. There were certain words where saying like the certain variations of the word, they don't even sound the same.
If she has a thick accent.
Like if I'm saying that I'm going to ride a bike or I'm riding a bike, they don't sound the same. And there were lots of those kind of
Radden.
issues.
It could be taken as rotten, riding, ride.
I don't know, I guess I'm spoiled because I don't have this many problems with speech to text ever.
You also don't have an accent. So I'm just, again, now I'm going down the speculation. Anyways, so she didn't send any proof. No. She just sent a couple of messages. Yeah. Would you like to share it since you've built it up?
Basically, she just said that she can't talk about it. She doesn't
it?
Yeah. After asking to have a video call with us to talk about it.
Like I said from the beginning, I think she just wanted to come on the show.
Probably.
So I said that from the beginning.
Yeah. But it was just, it's like that. To be clear, that's not how this works.
And also, to be clear, we are not trying to slanderize him. So if you are coming out with fake stories for us to come out with, that's not going to happen.
Right.
So that's what I'm getting at with this lady. If she's not providing any proof, no screenshots, no pictures, no documentation of any kind, there's no story to share.
Yep. And on top of that, if you chose for whatever reason not to use appropriate channels, like you didn't go to police for fear or whatever, this isn't the venue for that. If you're afraid of going to the police with your story, if that's the level, like, or filing a small claim, because I don't know what, she literally didn't provide me any context. She said, I
can't talk about it.
I love how Mike is building him up as this kind of person. It's really funny. Like, okay, that's all of those personalities kind of act the same. I don't
say that again.
She's saying that he's building himself to be somebody, like his personality or who he conveys in his videos isn't like him in real life or whatever.
Okay, but I've also said that from the beginning. I've never met this dude, and clearly his online persona doesn't match his real person if he's willing to both harm his child and harm his girlfriend, allegedly.
I mean, I have met him virtually and talked to him multiple times, and that's exactly what he talks like and how he acts. I mean,
you picked up a DV instantly upon meeting him?
No. I'm saying the way that he talks and acts in a business meeting is exactly the same as how he talks and acts in a YouTube video.
Okay.
It's not like him playing a character. That's literally who he is. And her comment was to the effect of, that's not who he is.
I guess I'm misunderstanding her comment, and how I understood it is exactly what I just said.
Like putting on a show. Like,
you're putting on a show online, but who you are in real life behind closed doors is not that same person.
What she's getting at is that it's a pattern for him, and he's doing the Bible, I'm a veteran.
Right, and especially now he's on the redemption path, and you know, the come to Jesus, and that he is secretly Jesus too. And anyways. By the way,
that is one of the handful of comments that we have gotten from people. They've watched our video, and even if they don't fully agree with us, they're like, yeah, that was really cringe.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
It was so weird. Like,
it was his Kanye moment for sure.
And I'm going to ask this again. And if anybody knows this answer, please let us know. Is he LDS? Is he Mormon? Like, what is the tie-in there? Because that would explain so much in regards to his persona.
I don't know if I told you this or not, but when I was looking about a week or two ago to see if he had started, producing different content, because he doesn't pop up in my feeds or anything because I don't follow him.
You said that he was like on Patreon now because people have to pay him because he has to pay all of his lawyers.
So he's at the level where he can have YouTube members too, so he could post the same content for members like we have. But what everyone noticed back around February or March when it came to light, this new case, February, right? End of January, maybe?
It occurred
in
like
December.
right after Christmas, right?
It was like the 27th, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm saying his content online, because nobody picked up on it, his content stayed the same until it was picked up. And then he started disabling comments on every video that he was putting out.
That was already in like mid-January.
Right.
It was pretty quickly.
Right. So I went back and I only got about 5 videos back. He started turning comments back on.
Oh, joy.
But because I've got a couple burner accounts for looking up things that I don't want to just pop up in my feed forever, like Glover and stuff like that. What I noticed is that there's a feature that YouTube has, and I'm sure other platforms in some capacity have it as well, where you can block or hold specific words. So like we block links, we block basically all explicit words in our comments.
So what did he block?
I tried a couple different variations, but there's also a feature on YouTube where you can actually have to approve every single comment.
Mm-hmm.
That might be what he's doing without actually. There's no way for an outsider to know. You have to have access.
Basically, you were creeping, but you didn't want to fully troll. You were like one step below a troll.
I wanted to see because I scrolled
full on creeping.
I scrolled through the comments and there's not a single negative comment. It's all people saying we support you, and that's not how the internet works. We're not the only people.
So they could also be deleting them as soon as.
Yeah, but it's easier to just not let them through at first. Block them. Let me take an hour every night.
Okay, so or then you just get really manipulative with your words and just, I love how your brain works.
Oh, and then edit the comment?
Huh?
And then edit the comment
No. Like, you are so scathing with your words, but it's written out each individual one. It looks like something positive. You're saying the word love. You're saying the word whatever. But it's so scathing. It's just like, you're fucking stupid. But I love the way that your brain works and bless your heart.
What are those coded messages that they've had, like, I guess kind of everything in pop culture, where somebody will write a message and it's like the first letter of every word in a poem or whatever?
Yeah. This way. Now you can see her.
So, and we got rid of our dog gates from the office, but I mean, it wouldn't work
because they don't ever come in here ever until we sit down and turn the lights on, and they're like, "Us too. Hello."
Yep. I'm gonna hold her still. So,
I was gonna throw this out there, and then she'll go get it. Except you're holding her still, so she can't.
I mean, I feel bad for this other woman because in some way, shape, or form, there's probably some veracity to it, but it's probably not.
Or it's a troll account run by him trolling us to put out a fake story to then. That was my immediate guess.
Yeah, I did look. So like on Facebook Business Manager, whatever, when you have those tabs for Facebook comments, Instagram comments, messages, all that stuff, all your inboxes.
Okay.
You've seen what I'm talking about. When you click on somebody's profile, it's like they want you to use it like a CRM. They want you to put like customer notes and add tags and assign employees to communicate with them and things like that.
Okay.
And it tells you how old the profile is, even if they've hidden it on their actual account.
So was it less than a year old?
No.
Was it?
It was like 15 years old.
Oh, okay. Was it his mom?
Maybe.
Because his mom has been riding and dying for him the whole time.
You know what I wonder? I've never looked and I've never seen this before. So on a page, pages have what Facebook calls like their transparency, whatever. Mm-hmm. So if you change a page name, it'll show you the history of that page's name changes.
Okay.
On this date it was created. On this date it was changed to whatever. Right. Like ours has a history because I removed the comma.
Right.
So sorry, I was reading the comment at the same time. So I don't think profiles have that. And now profiles and pages have like become blended. They're like you have access to different features on your side from a page, like a business page or personal page or whatever. But
you don't see if there was a name change. You only see when it was created, what year. Yeah.
Like I can't create. Razor says, having gone to school and serving with him, Mike, that's exactly who he is. And he had shown me that they had to, and I mean, in the military, once you get into rooms from now on. Oh, are we dropping frames? Or is it just my laptop buffering?
I have no idea. But
look fine.
Are we talking about
all right. If you guys are seeing any issues, let me know. Drop it in the chat. Buffalo Public Schools. So
yeah, you told me a little bit about this.
A lot for those that have seen this already. I'm not going to go into hyper detail about it. There's tons of videos on AngryCops own channel, on Unsubscribed podcast, on Black Rifle Coffee podcast. JT, Matt, Eli, and Richard sit down on that one. I actually haven't watched it. I saw the preview for it, but I hadn't watched it. And then news articles and things like that. So he is working a case, right? And it's a case that basically was like brushed under the rug.
Right.
And long story short, the biggest, Bella,
come here.
The biggest issue with how the schools report. So remember how you said, aren't they like mandatory report or something like that?
Yeah.
So there's a loophole.
What's the loophole?
There's a way that they can report and then ask for it to be like put into, oh my gosh, like a weird limbo state. Like it doesn't go like on the official record, but it's reported.
I know nothing about this weird limbo state, but
yeah,
yes.
I just learned about it. So basically somebody can come in. So say for example, there is a use case for it that matters. You have a kid who got in trouble a couple times, but you know, or at least think that you can get them to the point where they'll see I'm screwing up and then fix themselves, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of like we're this is going to be in your file. It's on your report. You better straighten up. I
was talking specifically about abuse.
Yeah, same thing. They have this method that, and I had it in my notes and I completely forgot. But there's a way that things can be reported, and then it's kind of put into like a limbo kind of state. And because it doesn't go into the real reporting system, you would have to know that was taken and who took it to be able to get access to it.
Do they have access to everything that is currently in the limbo system of?
No, because they would have to know that it exists to be able to track it down. It'd be like if you wrote a note and then me being like telling this whole story, never knowing that you have a note because it's not in the system.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. So one of the cases actually, because of him bringing this stuff to light, there was a guy facing misdemeanor charges for attempted kidnapping that have been elevated to multiple felonies.
Okay.
So some good has come out of it.
Okay.
They've launched an internal investigation because,
of course,
if we investigate ourselves and we find nothing wrong, nothing happened. There's no reason to get the real people involved. And it does seem, based on some of the updates that I've seen, both from AngryCops, Fat Electrician, because he's gone full autism through ring binder mode on this. He is dug in. He responded to the RFP for the private investigative firm.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's been an update, but I think they said something along the lines of like 3 or 7 days to select. But they just broke the law, state law in New York, by the state law in New York states that any government entity or whatever that wants to hold a public forum has to be able to, or has to hold that public forum in a location that has the capacity for anybody that is affected or whatever to come and speak.
So where did they hold it?
They decided to downgrade the size, which is against the law.
Right. So where did they hold it?
In like their town hall, like in a conference room. I don't think it's happened yet. I think it's supposed to be this week or next week. But they just announced it. They had a bigger venue originally, and now they're saying that they're worried or there's some excuse because they know how many people are going to show up.
So they're using fear of public backlash for the safety of the officers or the safety of the
school board,
education professionals.
Yeah, school board people.
Who are they? Who's in fear?
The school board people.
Just the school board.
Yeah.
I thought you said the principal himself was
they're not going to let him be part of anybody that's under investigation is not going to be able to be part of that conversation.
okay.
For one, their attorneys aren't going to let them.
Okay.
So, yeah, they and Fat Electrician found like these. I don't even know if they're actually obscure or not, but there's something that you wouldn't even. Would you have thought of that? Like if
I thought that was public knowledge.
That if you have a public forum that you
it
have
has
to
be in like a large area for anybody to be able to come.
No, according to New York law,
Yeah.
it has to scale upwards to the capacity of how. So, because I think it was something along the lines of 40,000 students are in this district.
Oh, so what?
That's if you say being conservative, right? Each
then
kid
it has to be at like some music venue or stadium.
But each kid,
the Buffalo Bills stadium,
which is probably like 80,000. What? That's dead on the money then. Two parents per child. And
this is off season, so they have no excuse.
But also realistically,
Buffalo Bills donate
to the charity. You mean to the family crisis, whatever it was?
No, donate their venue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good call.
Problem solved.
Yeah. Especially if they do it and say, "Hey, you can use this."
Yeah, then in a public way too.
Then it makes the school district look bad for refusing.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, and you can make.
Yeah, this is off season. They have no excuse to not.
Could you imagine? It'd be like, oh my gosh, if you actually allowed people, let's say, I don't know, 2 minutes each to talk.
It would go on for days.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's what you get for being in the public sector like that.
No, that's what you get for sweeping abuse under the rug.
True. Yeah.
Not being in the public sector. If you do everything right when you're in the public sector, then you have nothing to.
No, because what I'm saying is even if you didn't do anything wrong, you would still be held accountable by people. So people could request that and you could still have that many people that want to attend, I don't know, meeting you, shaking your hand for the first time.
Okay. That's what you sign up for in a different way. And then that's because you have a personality disorder, but that's okay. We won't go into that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, school board or what do you call it? Superintendent, school district superintendent.
No, just politicians in general.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess he has stated that he still has open cases that obviously he can't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So the scope of those seems to be worse than the things that he has been able to publicly talk about. Because the one case is closed. So he's allowed to give details about it, whatever. But these other cases kind of seem crazy. I mean, they had, I think I told you about the kid peeing their pants, right?
Vaguely. In the principal's office?
No. Well, okay. So this guy, they have like I think I told you what it was and I can't remember.
We were still at the still at the old house, and you said there's a museum attached to the school.
Yeah,
and that there's just like a doorway between the two.
Something to that effect. Yeah, where you can. It's not locked. It might not even be a doorway. It might be like. It might just be. They can't see this, but it might just be like a pass through. There might just be a hallway. We don't know. But apparently, it gives you easy access to just walk right into the school, and nobody will stop you. And
take them for your picking.
Tried to snatch up 2 separate kids. I think he did get one, or maybe one ran and the other one whatever. But so the kid peed himself, or she. I don't think he said if the kid was a boy or a girl.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. Kid peed themselves, and when the child went home, parents.
Right, I do remember you telling me.
Parents questioned the school like,
why didn't you call us?
Yeah. Why did my kid pee themselves? Why didn't you tell me that my kid peed himself? And they didn't tell them about the attempted abduction.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then when you're in that kind of situation, you have this kid, small kid.
Right. Do you believe everything they're saying? Yeah. Are you sure?
This stranger tried to take me and I screamed and then I peed myself and they ran away.
Right.
Your parents are going to be like,
right. If it was something that crazy, of course the school would call me. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course police would be involved. Of course they would be here taking your statement. Of course.
Yep. Yeah. But no, that's not what happened. And
those poor children.
Member or teachers and members of the faculty raping or attempting to rape several different students in various different, and I think, did I tell you the numbers? It was insane, the numbers that they had for the amount of times that the police were called over the course of, I believe, 3 years. Like the 2021, 2022, 2022, 2020, no, 22 to 23, 23, 24, 24, 25. So we're talking COVID is basically over, even in a state like New York, right? So full capacity, full attendance again, for the most part, I'm sure. It's like 16,000 times. And then like 300 of them were sexual assault.
Nothing about that is normal.
No. 16,000 or 12,000. It was over 10,000. I'm misremembering the exact number now because it has been a couple weeks, but it was a lot. And it's public data. They don't detail who or whatever, but it's part of like their reporting process.
Right.
And I believe the police department provides, like, we responded to call about assault or whatever, and stuff like that happens. But I would guess, if I had to guess, a large city, public schools like that, almost all of them probably have a resource officer, if not more.
I'm sure they have multiple resource officers.
So imagine,
for an elementary school of that size, they probably have 2. For a middle school, they probably have 4. For a high school, they would probably have 6.
So imagine, right? You have
outside police being called in addition to resource officers.
Yeah. That's insane.
Which I don't know how it is in New York, but here a resource officer is a county sheriff.
That's how it is in Indiana. So
right. So I can't speculate, but that's how it is here. So that's what I have to presume.
Yeah. It's crazy. I wish that I would have pulled up more information. Only is the limbo state. What? Oh, okay. So somebody, I don't know if they're catching up or if they're just now responding. So the reporting is called information only.
Information only? Is that what you said?
Yeah. That's the limbo state that I stated is called information only reporting.
Okay.
So it's just, we were here, talk to so-and-so, have my report, everyone on their merry way.
But then why did all of them not move past that?
Because they don't need the parents' input.
That seems against the law.
Yeah.
Like, in no world should a child under the age of 18 have anything occur that doesn't have parental write-off on, even if it was a scrape on the knee. You still inform the parent.
Yep. Yeah. So don't go to New York. The thing that's really like driving me crazy about this, you got like the guys like Tim Kennedy and Glover and stuff like that who've been pushing homeschool. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying homeschooling is bad, but they are like adamant, pull your kids out of public school. It's dangerous. Yeah, it probably is to some capacity, but you know why they're really doing it? Because they run their own private schools.
Mm-hmm.
So Tim Kennedy wants you to take your kids out of private school or public school and either homeschool them or put them into private school. Tim Kennedy will also sell you private school, but Tim Kennedy doesn't send his own kids to his own private school.
Sounds cultish. Yeah. It's also an abuse mechanism to control and manipulate people, but that's a whole other thing.
Putting kids into a cult school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just like religion, the church.
Sure.
Somebody's not going to like that comment. I'm switching the scene. I completely forgot to do this. Or we could talk about how the show is brought to you by NonaPhelps.com. If you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Florida, go ahead and get you an insurance quote. It's free.
Please take it off my face.
Okay. And we're back to both of us.
Okay. So what was next on your list?
Next on my list, let's talk about the Menendez brothers.
Oh. That involves pulling my phone out.
So I actually had, let me pull up my email here real quick because I just saw all that information I sent you, and it's pretty comprehensive in there.
Oh. Okay.
What? The notes that I had generated, that is.
That I didn't read.
Mm-hmm.
I do not read your AI bullshit.
The entire point.
The Menendez brothers were resentenced to 50 years to life and now are eligible for parole, whereas previously they were not. They've already been in jail for 35 years of their life.
So you act like, though, that I send you AI bullshit all the time, and I've never have. The entire point of this being generated was to compare for an episode that we were going to record before the mini PC broke, which of the Grok, ChatGPT, and Gemini could provide the most comprehensive information with citations to be able to do an episode with.
Well, we did Am I the Asshole Reddit episodes twice, and you used AI to come up with them, and both times they were terrible.
They've improved them every day. Every time you go to sleep, these models are changed.
Or you just find them on your own.
Or I could have it do this because it's providing the sources.
Yeah, but you literally spent each one going, wow, this is really dumb. Wow, this is really dumb. Wow, this is really dumb. Wow, this is really dumb.
And you didn't listen to what I just said. It improves every single day.
Okay.
This provided me a full comprehensive breakdown of all the topics that I asked with links.
Then read it.
I'm trying to, but you're talking like I send you AI stuff all the time and I never do. We don't use it for the show other than the one time that we asked it to give us Reddit articles. So it tells us how we're supposed to talk and what we're supposed to do as well. Like just as like here's some ideas. Here's how you can introduce or segue into the topic.
For me not to have resting bitch face, for me to pretend like I'm actually interested in everything that comes out of your mouth, I assume is what it's going to say. Nona should be bright and sunshiny and have rainbows and unicorns coming out her asshole every time Andrew looks at her.
It says for the host, so it's like if you put this in a teleprompter, host. In a significant criminal justice development, the infamous Menendez brothers, Lyle and Eric Menendez, have received a surprising break after more than 3 decades behind bars. A Los Angeles judge recently resentenced the brothers, reducing their sentence from life without parole to 50 to life, which makes them eligible for parole consideration. This marks a stunning turn of the case and the media sensation in the 90s. Let's unpack what happened and what it means. Then there's several other paragraphs that go into detail.
The first couple of seconds of you talking sounded like the opening of Law and Order SVU. Dun, dun, dun. I was waiting for you to do that. So we watched the show. It took me like 6 weeks to get through that show because I can handle blood, guts, whatever, but harming a child, I cannot stomach. And that show was so gut-wrenching to think that actually occurred, which nobody will really ever know, right? Like that's what they have shared. Mm-hmm. Their parents obviously aren't here to tell their side of the story. If that actually occurred, that is so gut-wrenching, and I cannot imagine. But it took me so long to get through that show just for that one reason. It was just so sickening.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, their parole hearing is June 15th. So I'm sure that'll be
Yeah, that's in like what, 20 days ish.
But the roll up to that date, that's probably all anybody's gonna be talking about. It's gonna be in every thumbnail you see on YouTube. It's gonna be on every.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. They've been back in the news since last year.
But this is gonna be like, will they walk free or not? Everything else has been like, oh, they're back in court. Oh, they've requested this.
Gotcha.
But that's going to be like a defining moment in their case where if they are found eligible or however, whatever that terminology is, and they're set to be released, it doesn't happen right then in the courtroom like the TV shows and movies would have.
Right.
But I would bet chaos, especially because it sounds like, I don't want to say any of the names because I feel like that would crush us on this, but the Milwaukee police officers.
Okay. Do you remember it occurring when we were children on the news at all?
I don't. The only thing that I ever remember.
Didn't it go all the way to like 96?
The only thing that I really remember is that clip from Martin Lawrence talking about how, which it didn't age well in hindsight because the abuse stuff seems to be real. Martin Lawrence talks about how he would never let his kids become like the Menendez brothers. And this is in like 2000, 2001, I believe. I
don't know what you're talking about.
It was a stand-up comedy show that he did called Run Tell That.
Okay.
And he had talked about 9/11. So it had to have been after September. But he talks about how he would never let kids talk to him like that, or, you know, he wouldn't raise kids that acted like that or whatever. And he said, I'm not going to have like the Menendez brothers or whatever as my kids. He's like, I'll be in there in the delivery room and I'd snatch that kid out of the womb and be like, this is me, this is daddy, you're never going to speak up. Like, I'm not going to repeat exactly what he said because I don't have authority to use the N-bomb, but yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So he's talking about he would snatch the infant out of the womb.
I mean, that's kind of how the dad acted in the show, actually.
Yeah. That's
exactly like that.
What I'm saying is it didn't age well. It was funny when that came out because people laughed. They're like, haha, that's funny.
Or it also goes to show that laying your hands on children in a funny way or not.
It was how he was making
okay.
fun of the Menendez brothers is what made it funny. I'm not saying he obviously, or at least I would hope that he wouldn't actually do that to an infant, but it was more like the, what do you want to call it? Like hyperbole, not really hyperbole, but you know what I'm talking about. So yeah,
well, they did it like 2 months after I was born, and I have no knowledge of it until I was a grown-ass adult. Like I somehow never once saw it on the news. I was just too young at that point, I guess, and my parents never talked about it. I didn't know it had even occurred until I was a grown woman, 4 children, in my 30s.
Do you think any of the kids know about, because this would have been, so if they've been in prison for 34 years.
35.
34, not quite 35
Oh,
yet.
Going on 35.
Yeah. So in theory, you were like a toddler. For one, you're not going to know, and then it's going to fade off into obscurity anyways.
Right.
So even me, I would have been 4 or 5, something like that. I wouldn't have cared about this. Guarantee you the kids don't know.
Yeah, but the same year that they were, like, the key was thrown away, 96, isn't that the same year Princess Diana died? When did she die? Was it 95 or 96? I remember that.
But that was...
Or wait, no. Was that her wedding? Something important happened in 95 or 96. Now I'm going to question. I only remember
because all of like the teachers at school made a big deal about it.
I like watched it. That came up on the news. Diana. I think she died in like 98, not or 97. Okay. When did they get married?
I don't know. Watch it be sometime.
Oh yeah, way before I was born. So no, it was 97. That I remember. I remember seeing the car crash on repeat like every night. I also remember the OJ chase. That was 95 or 96, right? That was right before that. Now you're making me question my reality. OJ chase. Year. 94. Okay. I remember seeing that also. So my point being, I remember these pivotal things.
You were also older when they happened.
96 was when they were their second trial. I never once even heard their name.
I didn't either.
Let alone information about their trial or what had occurred. To have a young child here that's as another child killing their parents, like that would have stuck with me.
Maybe that's why they didn't let you see it.
My dad
they didn't want to give you any ideas.
No, my dad would put on the 6 o'clock news like every night. That's how I saw the OJ chase. That's how I saw Diana's crash, was it being cycled on those. But I never once saw anything about the Menendez brothers.
Was your dad one of those people that would leave the Weather Channel on?
No.
24/7?
No. It was turned on just for the news and turned back off.
I knew a lot of people that would just leave the Weather Channel on.
No, the TV was never left on in my house, ever.
So, Menendez Brothers stuff off the list. We've only got a couple more things and we're at about 48 minutes. So, let us know, you guys, let us know what you'd like us to talk about when we start actually dropping real episodes again. Daniel Rupp added some more context here. Attempted to grab 2 kids. The boy was the one who peed himself. Same case as the one where the video evidence was deleted. So that's another. There's so much, like, you have to watch the full video. And even watching the full video doesn't give you all the context of it because it's only like 2 or 3 hours long. And there's hundreds of cases. It's just key points of a handful of cases. And to see that many of them be taken or handled that poorly is horrible. And you have to also think that in some cases, were the officers that responded, like, were they like, no, we really need to do this? Were they also, like, were their hands tied by their department? Because that school district, I think I told you, they have like a whole army of attorneys. They have like their whole own law firm. And you'd have to imagine that the police union and all the politicians within policing, like the chief or whoever else might be involved and stuff like that.
Right.
Probably like,
yeah, it sounds like they need to do a total wipeout, start fresh.
Yep. And yeah, the school has intentionally deleted evidence. It's insane. The one that he's specifically talking about, somebody had the forethought to record it,
right.
however, or export whatever the video. So some of it still existed.
Right.
But that's why they put people who were easily controlled until it was like, you don't want to lose your job because you're making $36,000 a year in the middle of I don't know how big. I know Buffalo's a big city, but I don't know how many people live there. I'm assuming at least 1 million, probably more. Like, this is the best job I've ever been able to get, and all I do is press delete on the security camera footage. Like, you don't really want to mess that up if you're in that position, because what else are you going to do? Go be the janitor? They're not going to hire you. Right. So you put people that are low paid, have no other opportunity, who you can easily control into a position like that. and then tell them, delete this footage, they're probably going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a handful who will step up. You'll have some who will step up and then they get sued into oblivion. You never find out about it. Though there's a lot of different things going on here. MisfitPatriot Zach Bonfilio.
Who's that?
I had told you about him, a couple different things about him a couple weeks ago. The dude is just, he's
delusional.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's got
what? Give me more context.
It looks like he like bought followers on X because he doesn't have like any engagement. Nobody ever responds to him, but he has like 50,000 followers.
Are you sure you've told me about this person?
Yeah. I'll get to what I told you about in a second, but he was arguing with Kay about something. I can't remember now, but it doesn't really matter. So anyways, they end up digging into this guy.
Okay.
Kay and a couple others do. They find all kinds of criminal record stuff.
Okay.
The most recent one, which he's standing trial for next month, is for assaulting an elderly hotel employee.
Okay.
He pulled a Juicy, whatever, Smollett.
What?
The guy that was in Chicago, he was on some TV show and claimed that those two white guys screaming, "This is MAGA country," and they beat him up or whatever. And it happened to be like,
oh, I thought it was a fake kidnapping. Sorry. I also didn't follow that story, but I thought part of it was like a fake kidnapping.
He told police that it was 2 or more. I don't remember if it was more, but it was at least 2.
But it was all fake.
Yeah. Staged the whole thing. He paid 2 guys from like Morocco, 2 black guys they were like illegal immigrants, to stage it. And it's all on security film from like ATMs and hotels and like, where are you going to go in the city of Chicago and there not be a camera somewhere?
Right. And doesn't the city of Chicago also have like city cameras?
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's tons of camera footage of him like walking around with them and like finding a spot, all this stuff. So anyways, Bonfilio told police, I'm sorry, that's not what he's told police. That's what he's telling people, is that same kind of thing happened at the hotel, that he was jumped and he was defending himself.
To the hotel worker.
No, so he attacked the hotel worker.
Right.
Who was sleeping. Hotel like receptionist. It was like middle of the night, something like, dude just like dozed off.
Okay.
And he had his phone, something along those lines. So I'm doing a poor reenactment because I don't have the actual footage, but apparently like nodded off something like this, right? And Bonfilio attacked him because he thought he was recording him while he was drunk. The dude's like 68 years old, so it's like abuse of
an elder.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And Bonfilio's like, pocket size, as you call it. I've trolled him. He blocked me finally. I was like, you're not allowed to use, you're not a big boy. You're not taller than my wife. I think I've gotten other people to use that, by the way.
Pocket size?
Yeah. I've said that to a couple of people. I haven't said like my wife says this, but I've been like something to that effect. Like my wife would call somebody like, you pocket size. Other people are like, oh my God, I'm using that. That's mine now.
That's my go-to for any man who's smaller than me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're so pocket sized.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so cute. I just gotta put you in my pocket.
Yep.
Oh.
So yeah, so he has like tons and tons and tons of basically cases like that. And he's running around lying about it. Here's the best part.
Okay.
Apparently Andrew Tate is suing a bunch of influencers.
Including this guy?
Nope, but he says he is.
Is Andrew Tate still in Florida, or did he fly back to Romania?
I honestly don't
because
know.
I thought you said he was going to get arrested while in Florida. And I haven't seen any of that. So.
They had stated that they were working on an investigation, and he said that he was leaving, and he is kind of he's kind of poofed. And I'm sure that's not because he's actually disappeared. He's probably just trying to get himself out of the news cycle for a little bit, but I don't know. So anyway, so he has claimed that Andrew Tate has named him in his lawsuit.
Okay.
And it's funny because all of the other people in these screenshots that he's provided, it's Jane Doe X handle, John Doe X handle, with none of their real names, but with his.
How can you sue somebody without knowing their real name? You can't. Can you?
You can.
I thought you said that the person in that one band that you like only came to light because of a lawsuit.
Oh, Ghost?
Yeah. And his one name had to be revealed because you can't sue a ghost.
So these are supposedly from Tate filing. So Tate and his attorneys might not know who these people actually are. But when you petition the court to have X give you that information, that's your starting point.
Gotcha. Okay.
But they miraculously have his name.
Gotcha.
Everyone else is John and Jane Doe.
Well, he also has quite the arrest record, so his might be a little bit more public than everybody else.
He also has the smallest account. Like everybody else on there.
So what else has he been arrested for? Other than beating up an old man.
DUIs.
Oh, gross.
There's also a video of him from, I believe, December or last December, which this video is really funny. He bumped into somebody or did something at like a convention. And it was to the point where they were going to press charges.
Okay.
Like whatever happened could have led to him being arrested on assault charges. So another person involved in this stated that if he met him in the parking lot and they handled it like men, he wouldn't go to the police. They met in this parking lot.
And he ran away?
Little boys, it's worse. Little boy Zach dancing around, getting his ass pummeled. Grabs dude's dick and balls. And this is on video. I've seen the video.
I feel like somebody else just did that move too. Why do I know that?
Maybe you've seen the clip, but the guy jumps up. He's like, "Don't grab my dick," and then he's like, stand there. He's like, "Oh, you don't want to fight anymore because I grabbed your dick."
I think everybody knows that's off limits.
Yeah, but
no, it was a wrestling move. Apparently, there's like if you use your knuckle in the anyways.
He was on the ground on his back. Dude was above him. I mean, it was over for him. And that's
so instead of being
but he claims
the bigger man and waving his white flag and saying you won, he decided to go for the balls.
And he claims he won the fight because of it.
I think everybody knows that that's one area you don't touch. That being said, women are not the same. I've seen some nasty, nasty fights, and they go for everything.
Women also do this number. They like lean back while they're doing this.
I don't think you've ever seen a real fight between two girls then.
I have. You grab each other's hair. It's like a hockey sweater where they grab the hockey sweater and then they just punch each other. Except you guys grab each other's hair, try and rip it out while you're slapping and punching.
Yeah, there's no leaning back.
They all do because they're trying to avoid having their hair pulled.
I haven't seen that at least.
Every video I've ever watched of women fighting.
I've only watched it in real life. I've never seen a video of it. I went to some very ghetto schools.
There's fights at other schools too.
Right. I'm just saying, like, the only fights I have seen are in person.
So
and not because I was looking for it.
I don't know. I was probably in 4 or 5 fights in high school.
I have never laid hands on anybody in my entire life, and I hope to keep it that way. Don't tempt me. Get away from me, bro.
You touched me.
Poor Bella.
So, yeah, Bonfilio. I'll show you that I'll show you the video. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go check it out. You can actually type in. I think if you type in
nuts and balls.
I think if you type in
nuts and dick.
If you type in Misfit Patriot or something like that, Misfit Patriot fight, even on Google, it pops up. There's so many people have made fun of it.
Mm.
Yeah. But anyways,
was there anything else on your list, Andrew?
We were going to talk about pickleball and all this stuff. We'll talk about that on a different episode.
What do you want to talk about pickleball for? Like, what is it about pickleball that you hate so much?
How it's a fad that I don't like, and I hope it dies.
There's always going to be something else. So give it about 2 more years. Something else is going to come around. Don't worry. I'm not going to drag you to the pickleball court. And it's taken 3 years of me asking for you to go golfing, and you still haven't. So by the time...
I'm assuming one of the dogs farted, and apparently it just went in her direction because
oh my God.
I don't smell it yet, but it can stay over there with you.
I'm eating it. It's so strong.
Oh, people can see Bella's cone.
It's not Bella. I know what her smells like.
Bella's
it's 100% Willow.
Bella's handicapped, guys.
Oh, I got her. The dog is human. Right? That's what they're called. Multivitamin. And supposedly it's going to help her with her allergies and her skin. So started day 1 today. She already has Apoquel and Cytopoint shots. They have done nothing for her. This is the next step. Trying it. I'm giving it my all, giving it her all. So if you guys use it, please let me know. I've been researching it for like 6 months and finally ordered it.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in anything that doesn't come from a needle or...
That's not true.
Oh my God, yes.
No, it's just another product.
I'm like, here, let's put some tea tree oil on her. And it does help, but just, it doesn't last very long. I used like an entire bottle of tea tree oil.
Well, we'll have to talk about pickleball another day.
Okay. We'll do it on your next episode.
Monday.
I am not recording on Monday. You don't remember that my brother and his girlfriend are flying in from the Netherlands?
I actually don't think you told me that.
I have told you that for like 6 months. It's okay.
You said that they were flying in, but I didn't know when.
Yeah, this weekend.
Okay.
That is very much happening this weekend. But anyway.
The last thing I wanted to talk about, and this will just be a side note, we'll talk about pickleball in another episode because I'm gonna research into why I hate this thing.
He hates literally everything that doesn't involve sitting on the couch.
No, that's not true at all. I love lots of things, and lots of things are expensive. So, suppressors might be coming off the NFA.
You just said random words to me.
Firearm suppressors.
Okay.
So it passed the first vote. It's moving on to the Senate. And yeah, so tax stamps, are you familiar with that at all?
No.
If you want to buy a suppressor.
He still hasn't even taken me shooting.
If you want to buy a suppressor.
I don't want to buy anything. I want to go shooting.
It's if a person.
Okay.
Stop acting like I'm talking about you.
Well, you were looking at me and you said you.
Because I'm having a conversation with you.
Okay.
It's very easy to differentiate. If you wanted to buy a suppressor right now, you would have to file for a tax stamp, which I believe are about $200 each.
Okay.
So if you had...
And then it's being proposed that no longer?
Well, there's a whole... the whole lobbying thing we'll talk about.
So what is being proposed?
Removing it from the NFA, meaning that there wouldn't require a tax stamp. You could just walk into the gun store.
That's what I just asked.
Yeah.
And then you said, well, the answer is yes, that's what's being proposed.
There was an intermediary part that it's a lot of detail that doesn't really matter to the conversation, but it was important in context for other things. There's suppressor companies who were lobbying to not have them taken off the NFA.
Did they get a kickback?
in a way.
Okay. So it's all about money for everybody.
Yep.
Okay. Everybody knows that already.
Yep.
Anyways, was there anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, but it won't work now.
Yeah, we don't have time anyways.
Yep.
We're at our limit. Thank you for getting on.
Thanks for joining us. Let us know what topics you'd like us to talk about. Like I said, hopefully next week-ish. We still don't have I think I've already said this. We don't have the mini PC that we do our recording with. So
hopefully it'll come in the mail next week.
Yeah.
Crossing fingers.
So the PC that we're using right now was the PC that we started the podcast with.
But it's also Cooper's PC, and he is already out for the summer. So he would like to have it back.
We'll bring it down a couple times. If we don't have the mini PC, that is. Or if the mini PC, once again, doesn't work.
Oh my God, don't jinx it. Stop. Don't jinx it.
This is what?
Well, I wasn't going to make extra noise.
That's fine. So let us know, guys. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Obviously, what was that?
One of the dogs just let out a crazy squeak. And I don't know what hole it came out of, but I want to run before I find out.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching.
I think they both need to go out right now.
Let us know topics and stuff that you guys want us to talk about. Anything that you want us to look into. Follow us all over social media. Check out our website. Leave a comment. And see you in the next one.